A lot of people feel misunderstood by their family. They feel like their family doesn't understand them. They feel disconnected from their family. They feel separated from their family. They're going through a lot of shifts. They're going through a lot of transformation. They're becoming their own individual. And the more that they step into their power, they feel disconnected from their family, okay? And it's actually totally normal, and I'm gonna share with you why this is happening, and 5 reasons your family doesn't understand you. 5 reasons why your family doesn't understand the person you're becoming and the shifts that you might be going through, and how to actually understand this at a deeper level that's gonna bring you more peace, and in the long run, allow you to eventually have a deeper connection with your family if you desire to have that kind of a connection with your family. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you to hit that notification bell because I do post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me, I just said that if you want to be a part of my group program that's coming up in the next couple of months, that's what I meant to say. The link will be in the description box of the video for that as well. Okay, there's gonna be all the details you need. It's gonna be a super powerful program. And if you wanna be part of it, the link will be in the description. Okay, so what's the first reason your family doesn't understand you? What's the first reason? The first reason is you are going through a massive shift in consciousness. Okay, you're going through a massive shift in consciousness. You're going through a spiritual awakening. All right, that's what most people are going through. They're going through a shift in consciousness, and their family is also going through a shift in consciousness, whether they realize it, realize it or not, but most of the time they don't, because everybody's evolving their consciousness at some level. But they don't understand that you're consciously embarking on this journey of waking up to who you truly are. Right? They don't understand that. And so when you're going through a shift in consciousness, like a major upgrade, and somebody else is not shifting as fast as you, right? And that's just the way that it is. It doesn't mean that you're better. It doesn't mean that you're higher or above anybody else from like a ranking perspective, but you're going through a shift and maybe that person's not, right? Everybody transforms in their life at completely different rates and on different timelines. And so if you're going through a shift in consciousness, maybe that person is not ready to understand what you're going through, right? And then when we're going through this shift in consciousness, we have this need to tell everybody. Oh, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going through this crazy shift. I need to tell my family, right? I need to tell my friends. Everybody needs to know right now, but they don't. And maybe they're not ready. And that's the truth that a lot of people have trouble getting when they start awakening. Okay, I remember when I was waking up, I would walk into my family's room and be like, oh my God, this is so crazy. And then I wanted the validation and they weren't giving it to me. And I was like depressed because they weren't giving me the reaction that I wanted, right? And so understand that you're going through shifting consciousness and maybe they aren't ready to fully understand what you're going through, and that's okay. Because you're learning a lot of truths about reality and maybe they're not yet, right? Not yet. Maybe they'll learn it in this lifetime, maybe they'll learn it in the next lifetime, in the next incarnation, if you believe in that, but we are spiritual beings. So what we can realize is that maybe they're just not ready. And you're going through shifting consciousness, and they are too ultimately, but maybe not as fast as you, particularly at that present moment in time. And that's okay, all right? The second reason your family doesn't understand you is because you're breaking free from the known, all right? The very fact that you are aware you're a human being, you had to be conditioned in a certain way to develop a sense of self, right? So you were conditioned a certain way to develop this sense of self, right? And you had to obey certain rules, right? You had to become comfortable with a certain way of being, with certain rules, with certain boundaries that were enforced upon you in the household that you were brought up in, right? So when you're brought up in a certain household, there are certain ways of doing things. And when you're being born into this world, you don't really have a choice, at least at that point. You have to just suck everything in like a sponge and become your environment, which is insane. The first 7 years of a child are literally them being like a sponge, absorbing everything in their external world. They become like their family. They become like the people around them. And that's okay, because you need to do that to survive. What's wrong with that? You needed that to become a human being. But now you're maybe becoming conscious that you don't want to be the way you were brought up, and that's okay. But then what happens is that you're breaking out of the known. That's the second reason your family doesn't understand you. You're breaking out of what you know yourself to be in that moment, which is not who you truly are, and you're becoming conscious of that. So you're breaking out of the known. You're breaking out of what your family knows you to be. Maybe they wanted you to be a doctor or a lawyer, or maybe just to act a certain way because that's how you need to be, right? It's like, if you don't act in this way, you're not accepted, and you're not going to get love from us, and you have to be this way, right? But then you become more conscious, and you start to say, well, I don't want to be that way. And then you're breaking out of the known. So maybe your family wants you to be a lawyer, and you start to say, actually, like maybe you even bought into that story, right? Like, oh yeah, I need to be a lawyer. I need to go to school. I need to do things exactly like my family wants me to do them. And then eventually, you start to realize that you don't want to do things the way your family wants to do. Maybe you want to be an artist. Maybe you just don't want to act a certain way. Maybe you don't want to buy groceries for your family that day because you just want to go for a walk, right? That's kind of how it was for me. So you just want to be your own individual and start to create a new identity that they have never seen you to be before. You're stepping into the unknown, and then your family doesn't understand that. They can try, but they can't, because it's what you call the generation gap. And also, you could like that's a practical, tangible way of explaining it, right? It's a generation gap. But also, you're shifting into a new identity. Your consciousness is expanding into the unknown, and they don't want to go into the unknown. They want to stay in the comfort zone of who they know you to be and who they know themselves to be. So then they have resistance. They throw fears onto you out of love and your safety, but it is projected through fear and anxiety. It's always about love, right? But it's projected through a very dense form of love, and they want you to protect your identity. Understandably so. They want you to be safe. They love you most of the time, okay? Hopefully. Now, everything is love, whether we see it or not. But the thing is, though, most of the time they do love you, by the way. I'm just saying hopefully, because in the rare case, sometimes, we have family members that aren't so nice. But even those people are still an expression of love. Again, very dense, but everything is love if you look at it deep enough. But that's another video for another time. It's hard to see that, and it sounds airy-fairy, but that's a whole other topic, because love is just consciousness, all right? But really what's happening is you're breaking free from what you know yourself to be, and they can't understand that. That's why when you want to be an artist or start a business, your family doesn't get you, because they've been brought up a certain way, and they can't understand why you want to be some other way, because that's out of their to them, that's the unknown. To you, it's the unknown, but you're comfortable with that. They're not, and that is okay. It's just you stepping into your power and becoming the person that you feel you're meant to be and the person you are meant to be. So it's totally okay. You're just breaking out of what you know yourself to be and what they know yourself to be. That's why they don't understand you. Now, the third reason your family doesn't understand you is because you're breaking out of the matrix. Most people are living in a dream. They're living in a false reality where they think that all this solid, tangible stuff is the truth of reality. You're beginning to wake up to the truth of who and what you are, and then what happens is that you're breaking out of the false reality. But then here's the thing. The more that you wake up to who you truly are, you wake up to the dream of life, your family might start to think that you're living a dream, that you're being unrealistic, that you're not being practical, that you're not being tangible, that you're not being logical anymore. Oh my God, he's so spiritual, he's losing his mind. No, you're just breaking out of the matrix. You're not going crazy. You're just realizing the truth. And the more that we realize the truth, the more that the people that are living in falsehood and still living in the dream, no separation, no judgment, but there are people that aren't just there yet, or are going to think that you're losing it. But you're not. You are just breaking out of the matrix. Now, when I say matrix, what do I mean? I mean that you realize that this reality, to some degree, is no different than a dream, but it's just more solid. You're realizing that you are not the character that you're playing. This character is not you. And it's simple. That sounds crazy, but it's just you realize that you can observe your thoughts. You realize that you're not the conditioned part of what you are. You're not the conditioning. You're not the human. You're a human, but you're also a human being, right? You're the beingness of a human that is having a human experience. The one being, the one organism that is everything. Just the oneness of all that is. You're breaking out of that separation illusion. And they're definitely not going to understand that if you're realizing that. That's just typically how it is. Typically what happens is the more that you break out of the dream, the more that you escape the matrix, the people that are still in the matrix are going to think you're going nuts. They're going to think that you're being airy-fairy, that you're being too spiritual, you're too woo-woo. They're going to think, oh my God, this person's totally disconnected from reality. But what a paradox. The irony is real. Because you as the humble spiritual being can't fight with that person and be like, no, actually you're the one that disconnected from reality. You can't do that because that doesn't work. That doesn't help you or the person. That's a negative vibration. So you can't do that. And so you just have to accept it. And that's okay. That's okay. Let the person be on their path. It's not your path to wake anybody up. It is to some degree, but it's not by doing it in that way. It's by you raising your consciousness and you being who you truly are to the highest level that you can. That's ultimately the way to help your family, is by being a full embodiment of your true self unapologetically. This is the way you wake up, and this is the way that you help others to wake up, is by being a full embodiment of your true self. So you're just escaping the matrix, and they aren't just yet, and that's okay. Now, the fourth reason your family doesn't understand you is because you understand things they don't, okay? You understand things that they don't, and that's okay. And it all goes back to consciousness. And the key is to understand that it's okay, right? You don't need to help them understand. They don't need to understand. You can know what you know, not be attached to what you know, and allow them to not know, right? You don't need to enforce anything upon anybody. That's not why you're here, right? You're just here to be your truth, to be who you truly are. You maybe understand, not at a logical level. I'm not saying that you have more knowledge than this person, although you might. I'm saying that you have a higher level of consciousness and you have realizations that perhaps your family has not had yet. You understand reality at a deeper level. You understand reality at a deeper level. And that is okay. You just want to understand that, like, imagine what that looks like from your family's point of view, right? So when my family thought I was going nuts, I understand that. That makes sense to me. I was like meditating in my room all day and doing all these things, working on my business. Absolutely. Sure, I totally get it. But I'm still going to be my truth. And it's okay if people don't get it. It's okay because they'll come around when they're ready. And even if they don't, that's okay too. I'm not going to depend on that. But it's not going to stop me from being what I want to be in this world. It's not going to stop me from being what I want to be in this world. So you might understand things that they don't at a very deep consciousness level, not a logical, I have more information than this person, although you might, right? You might. That could be part of it too. You might have more logical information. In that case, it's definitely okay. Because it's like, imagine if you're in grade 12 and somebody's at grade 6 and they don't understand you. Okay, that's fine. Why would somebody at grade 6 have to understand grade 12 mathematics? That makes no sense. Are you going to judge the person in grade 6 for not having, help them, but if they don't want to be helped, that's cool. Now, consciousness is a bit different because it's not like, it's kind of similar. It's just people don't want to admit the fact that some people are more developed than other people, right? Because it sounds judgmental to be like, oh, you have more consciousness and they don't. But it's not like that. It's just like if I make an observation, I say, hey, this person is 150 kilograms, this person's 125 kilograms. It's just the raw facts. Is that a judgment? No, it's just he's bigger, he's smaller. You can say it in a judgmental way, but you can also say it in a way where it's just like, no, that's just what it is. This person is taller, this person's shorter, this person is at a higher level of consciousness, and this person's not. Now, consciousness is harder to quantify and to be like, oh, because we don't know, right? For all you know, the person you're judging could be at a higher level of consciousness than you. Not always, but it's possible, right? The person you see on the streets that doesn't have a home, he could be enlightened. You don't know that. Eckhart Tolle was homeless for 10 years. How many people judged him? But that's a whole separate video, right? You understand things that they don't, and that is okay, all right? I got a little carried away there. So the fifth reason your family doesn't understand you is because you are stepping into your power. All right? The more that you realize the truth of who and what you are, you're going to step into your core energetic frequency, the highest embodiment of a frequency you can be as a human, right? Your highest energy. And so what happens is that when you step into your own energy and the people around you are not in their own energy, this is a beautiful way to end the video. I love this. This is my favorite point. Comment down below if any of these points resonated with you so far. Like this video if any of these points resonated with you so far. This is my favorite point. I'm glad you stuck to the end of this video because this is going to be the biggest point. The more that you step into your power, the more that you feel peace, you feel better about being the way you want to be. People are going to, most of the time in my experience, not to say that this is going to be how it's going to be, how it was for me is how it's going to be for you, and that's just the way that it is. No, but what I've seen is that the more you step into your power, at least in my experience, people have projected their own traumas onto me the more that I step into my power. And they really don't understand me. So the more that I became who I truly am, the less understood I was by my family. And that's okay. The more that I connected to my core frequency, the more that I get called crazy by certain people, the more that certain people reject me. But they're not really rejecting me, they're rejecting the idea of me. But that's a whole separate video. So the more that you step into your power, people are going to either fully be a match to that frequency or they won't understand you at all. And they're not going to be able to connect with your energy any longer. Because your consciousness got to such a high level. Your energy is so powerful that it just, some people don't resonate with that. And so in my experience, again, it sounds so egotistical, but this is what it is. The more that I embodied who I truly am, the more that I was not understood by certain people, okay? And this is the way that it is, because when you're stepping into your power, the people that have not stepped into their power are going to think all sorts of things about who they think you are, right? Because they can't read you anymore. They don't understand you. They can't put a label on you because you're not living through labels anymore. You're living through your truth. They can't label you. They can't quantify you. One moment you're this way, one moment you're that way. Well, what is he? He's going nuts. No, you're not going nuts. You're malleable with the present moment because you're following the energetic frequencies and the divine energy, right? You're stepping into your power, and certain people will not understand that. In fact, the more that you step into your power, the less understood you'll be by certain people. Here's the good news. Maybe your family doesn't understand you. Maybe certain friends don't understand you. Certain people will, very harshly sometimes, completely reject you. But the idea of you, keep that in mind. That's a whole other video in of itself, how to deal with rejection. Comment down below if you want to see that video. Because people are not rejecting you, they're rejecting the idea of who they think you are. You've never been rejected in your life. People's idea, they rejected the idea that they had of you, right? That's what they're rejecting. They're not rejecting you and who you truly are. They're rejecting who they think you are. And the more that you step into your power, that's a whole separate video and a whole separate topic though, you're gonna be less understood. But like I said, here is the good news though. That's like, well, Francis, where's the good news? I thought you were gonna give me some good news. The good news is that the people that won't reject you will truly accept you, and you'll truly be connected with your soul family and the people that are meant to be in your life. Because when you live your truth, two things happen. Either somebody sees you for who you truly are and you come together beautifully, or they can't handle who you truly are and they'll leave. And both are completely okay. Why is it okay? Because why do you want somebody in your life that doesn't accept the truth of who you really are? I only want people in my life that can handle who I truly am. And if somebody rejects the idea of who they think I am as a result of me embodying my core frequency, beautiful. I'll see you later. Bye for now. Maybe in this life I'll see you again, maybe in another life. I don't care. Because I'm not here to be something that I'm not, to play a role that I don't want to play, to let somebody in my life that doesn't want to be in the frequency of who I truly am, right? I don't want that person in my life anyways. So if they reject the idea of who I am, peace. All right, much love. I don't need you in my life. I'm not going to judge you, right? I'm not going to hold resentment towards you. If I do, I'm going to let that go ASAP because I don't want to hold on to that negative energy. But if you reject me, no issues. No issues at all. Peace, much love, namaste. I don't need that energy anyways, all right? So when you're stepping into your power, your family may not understand you, and that's okay. But what you can do is you can fully step into your power anyways, and then eventually your family will accept you for who you truly are. Or maybe they won't. Sometimes, most of the times they do, right? Maybe they don't, but you can't depend on that, right? Your goal is not to be accepted. Your goal is to not be a sheep, but to be who you truly are, right? To be the fullness of what you came here to be, regardless of how people react, even if it's your family, especially if it's your family. Because those are the people that are not going to allow you to be in your life, to be the fullness. Those are the people that are not going to allow you to live the life you really want. Excuse me, that's what I meant to say. Okay, so that's all I have for this video. Once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. Also, once again, I do have a group program coming up in the next couple of months that's going to be super, super powerful. So if you want more details on the program, or if you want to be a part of the program, the link will be in the description box of this video. Okay, if you want to be part of it, no more details, hit the link that's in the description box of this video. Okay, as always, have yourself a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.